Welcome to being a Acting for Film student webinar. My name is Kaif. I work for the student recruitment team. And today we have
I'm Danny. I'm on acting for film and musical theatre joint.
amazing. So, researching university. So, what steps did you take before joining?
So I had to take a lot of steps because I personally for me, I didn't realize I wanted to go to uni till like quite late on, like into college, about 1 year into college. So I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but I got a lot of like help from people around me, and they helped me realize that it's all about finding a place that's going to make you happy
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So um yeah, I guess I just had to research all the different unis that I could possibly go to that would offer what I wanted, that would make me happy, and that's what was most important, I think.
amazing. So how did you feel about going to university? Obviously, you started thinking about university quite late.
Yeah, so it was so scary, obviously. Like that's just a natural feeling about going to uni. But the more I started more I start getting closer, the more like steps I took to actually getting here, it just got so much more exciting. And especially when I realized like I had a few people that I would know, because I'm not from here. So having a few people that I actually knew um made a big difference as well. It got me even more excited. It was just it ended up just being all like positive feelings, as we got
Amazing.
closer.
So what's your top tip when deciding on universities?
Definitely, like it was something that my dad actually brought up to me like when I started thinking about uni, because I'm not like that academically gifted. My sister's quite like gifted in that area, but he said you've got to do what makes you happy, and I think that's so important because if you do what's happy, you're gonna enjoy every step of it, and you're gonna enjoy like learning and using up your own time to further yourself on it. So I think just doing what makes you happy.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely doing it for 3 years. You got to be motivated to do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, 100%.
So, some top tips that we suggest doing is like visiting universities, if that's through open days, campus tours, taster sessions. Also, visit the local area, see if there's much to do around the local area because you'll be there around for like 3 or 4 years. Test run your journey from university to home, as obviously you'll be doing this occasionally for the holidays or if you're commuting in. So, making sure it's quite an easy journey. But also, really, really important is to ask questions. So when you're going for open days, doing campus tours, taster sessions, ask lecturers questions, ask students questions will help you build a better foundation of what which university is the one you want to go to. So next slide. So getting started. So what was your first week at university like?
First week was spent usually like when you join a uni or a college, it's getting to know the place, getting to know the people, getting to know the tutors, and meeting the tutors. I think definitely was a big thing for us because these people are going to be like sharing a lot of themselves with us, and we're going to be sharing a lot of them ourselves with them. And because we're on a performing course, it's important to feel like you can gel and connect with the tutors as well, like that. But also getting to know the people on our course, um, because obviously actors, they're like it's so it's not dependent on the people around you, but being able to say you can connect with others, it helps you get in the zone and get the feel for what it's going to be like in the next 3 years, obviously. So yeah, that was the majority of the first week. Very important.
Yeah. So how did you find settling into student life?
Way easier than I thought it was going to be. Um, you build it up the idea of like meeting new people and settling into halls, and you build up this idea that it's going to be terrifying, but I found it really like peaceful, really smooth, and being able to have that freedom to go out on nights out and stuff in the like the first few weeks, and to have a lot of that time to explore Chichester, explore the uni. It made it so much easier, I think.
That's amazing. So, what does a typical week look like now for you, Danny?
So acting for film is obviously a very camera based um course, but there's a lot of physical side to it. Obviously, doing stage combat and stuff like that, which is awesome and stuff. So I tend to go to the gym a few times a week, and also use quite a bit of the time outside of uni to go through script work and stuff like that. Because if you if you practice getting used to scripts, learning lines, learning all this stuff like all this academic stuff, it gives you a bigger boost when it comes to being in lessons, being in classes, and having that one-to-one time with your tutors. So giving a bit of that time to it is really helpful. Yeah.
Amazing. So, what were your biggest concerns before coming to university? So,
Yeah. So all the ones on the screen obviously just spoke to me, but I said before, living in halls and moving into halls, like this is going to be people I'm going to be living with, so that's a big deal. So obviously you've only lived with family, and usually that's the case with students coming from home. So it was scary to think that I was going to be spending a year with these people that I don't know. But that was squashed in the first few weeks. Like we had so much time to hang out, just chill and socialize. And I know sometimes even people who have trouble socializing that they felt included, and we made sure of that, and it became so much easier. And also as well, being out on my own. This is the first time I've been out by myself away from home properly. Um, so financially, it was a worry. Like taking care of money and using it properly and using it wisely was something I was worried about. But again, just like getting some advice on how to do it was just so much easier. Like even from people or like friends around us, but also like second years, third years, gave such like helpful insight on what to do and how to like manage that. And because we're students, we're going to be going out, we're going to be drinking and stuff like that. It's it's helpful to use their knowledge, because they're not tutors. They don't they are people who have just been through what we're going through. So yeah, yeah, those were the main things that I was kind of worried about.
yeah, amazing. Um, so moving away from home, making friends. So how did you feel about moving away from home?
Obviously, I live a while away, York, about 6 hour drive. Um, any like distance is a distance. It doesn't matter. But I think being away and just literally having no way to get home was worrying. Um, which is why it was on the top of my like bucket list to have people that I could feel safe around, and feel safe going to talk to, because I couldn't just spend all my time calling my parents or calling my sister or anything like that. So it was it was worrying, but it also fueled me to get out there and be more social, which I've obviously found a bit struggling in the past. I've struggled with that, but being at uni, it's actually helped a lot.
Amazing. How are you finding like living in student accommodation?
Yeah, so student accommodation is great for some people, and it's great for me. Obviously, some people have their struggles with it, being with strangers. But me personally, I found it great. I found it great, like having people I can rely on, people I can trust, um, people that are gonna socialize outside and just swing by my room, grab me, and take me with them. It's kind of a nice feeling being in first year accommodation. So yeah, it's there's no real complaints from me here.
Mm, that's amazing to hear. So, how did you feel about making new friends and meeting new people?
Blessing. It was great. Like being in the same place for like 16 years, you're like being at home just with the same people, great people, but um you feel a bit like just the same old all the time, doing the same things, and
Mm,
you know, being here, it's fresh, and um, and meeting just like new types of people that I've never met before, like people who are wanting to do exactly what I'm doing, people who are doing exactly the opposite of what I'm doing, but still great people, and I've had no trouble meeting people that I love talking to and love spending time with, and it's just such a great place to live and find people like that. Yeah,
mm. And have you joined any like societies or clubs while being at the uni?
yeah. So when I started here, I knew I wanted to play American football. I found that I've wanted to play it for like a few years now. I just didn't really want to do it in York, where I was from. I didn't really have the time. But I found that they had an American football team, and it was so accessible and easy to try out. It was a great day, that the tryout day, and it's the same that I've heard from other societies as well, like volleyball and ultimate frisbee and stuff like that. They've all been I know a lot of people that do these other sports and other clubs, and they've loved it as well. And um, yeah, and that's been such a great thing to just like separate myself from uni, because obviously you get a bit overwhelmed with work sometimes,
Mm,
and just you just want to do something, you just want to get out and do something different, and having a society like this to go to, especially such like a physically tolling one,
yeah,
like your mind's fully in it, and your mind's away from work and away from stuff that like is straining your mind and stuff like that. So it's been great doing American football, and I know it's been great for other people who've been doing other things. So yeah.
amazing. So, coping with assessments. So, what type of assessments do you have in your subject?
So with acting, we spend a lot of time in front of the camera, getting used to it, getting used to the fact that you're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it
Mm,
right all the time, and that's such a thing you have to get in your head, because if you put the idea that you have to be brilliant every week, week in, week out, it's not good for you. So we have scenes that we do with duos, and we have some trio assessments and stuff like that, that we get in front of the camera. We have all the equipment. We have 4 or 5 different shots that we have to take, and you have to sit through. You have to give the same performance. You have to like really work on your um, professionalism mainly, and your resilience and stuff like that. And those assessments really do um, you work hard for them, and you get excited for them, and then they pass by and you can't wait for the next one. Also, we have our I mentioned combat. We have combat assessments where we learn how to fight on to a camera. So that's punching, that's kicking, rolling around, throwing people. Um, and our assessment was a sword fight, in which we go head to head against the whole class, and we set up this whole 3-minute fight. It involves a lot of gory stuff, details not really necessary, but um, that's all about physical resilience and safety as well, mostly. Like, you've got to learn all this stuff, and you've got to remember, because of you could hurt someone, and you're doing this um to make it look like you are trying to hurt someone, but not actually do it. And those assessments, those are probably the most fun, I'd say. We're doing a Romeo and Juliet one at the moment, a sword fight with a sword and dagger. So those ones, yeah, great stuff.
mm. So, how do you prepare for these assessments?
So yeah, you get taught all the stuff in lessons. You get all the time with your with the tutors, with the teachers, and they, whether it's for combat or for the scenes and script work, you get the time to ask the questions, you get the time to ask for guidance on scenes or fight and how to do things properly. But then it's all about taking that in, maybe writing it down, going away and spending your time going through it over and over again. And it's obviously acting is not just, you know, spending an hour working on it and then going home and leaving it to sit. Sorry about that. You've got to put it in your head and maybe take the chance to meet up with your partners, meet up with your groups, and go through it just over and over again. You know, try and do it differently, try it a different way and another different way, and putting in the extra time really does count when it comes to
Yeah.
assessments. Yeah.
So how many and how often do you have for your assessments?
Around, for every kind of different subject we do, so that for the film acting side, we'll have about one assessment per term, um, which the whole the whole course will do. Sometimes you'll have a choice of which one you do, and I think it's good to push yourself in a direction that you wouldn't usually go. Um, and combat, you'll have an assessment a term. Um, that's gotten better over the years. Used to have, I think, one per year, and now this year it's changed to one a term. I think that's correct. Yeah. Um, you get plenty of assessments and stuff that's not too stressful. Not too stressful. You'll get around two essays a year, which are not very difficult. They're just stuff you have to um, put in a bit of time to do them, and it's not hard because I know myself. I haven't been great with tests and stuff and essays in the past, but they honestly, like, I put in the right amount of effort and I got the right result back, and it did help me go on to my acting assessment. It helped me, you know, process information I didn't think I'd need, like how different actors of, like how famous actors got famous and where they had to go and what they had to do. Um, so about two essays a year. Um, but the practical ones are the ones people look out for, and you get to do them, you know, every semester, every term.
Amazing. So, some of the support on offer at our university is academic skills, chaplaincy, disability and dyslexia service, student health service, student money, student wellbeing, you in mind, mental health, and you talk counselling. So, a real range of support that's on offer, and a lot of our students all use that support that's on offer at the university. So, Danny, what would you say to someone considering studying an acting for film course?
I say there's a lot of things to take into account before joining an acting course. The main thing for me that that me, my friends, and all the people I know that have gone on to acting courses is to make sure 100% that it's what you want to do, because acting's like, it's something you've got to throw yourself into. You can't
Mm,
ease in, you can't dip your toe into all these other things. Acting's something you've got to throw yourself into because there's such a plethora of different actors around the world. Everyone's different, but you've got to have a tough skin. You've got to have, you know, the right mindset to go in and learn and know that you're not going to get it right, and know that you're not going to, like, smash it out the park in the first term. It's such a slow process, and you've got to understand that before joining an acting course.
amazing. So, this is our last slide. So, sum up your time so far at Chichester.
If I had to sum it up, I'd probably just say where I was before I joined uni and looking at where I am now, it's been so positive, and it's put me in a place where I feel more independent. and I feel way more professional in what I'm doing. Um, and just getting the chance to do all these incredible things, and that I didn't think I'd be able to do like 2 years ago. That's a great thing and a really great thing that I want other people to be able to experience, other people that I know a lot of people will be in my shoes and will have been through the same experiences as me. So it's a great uni is a great way to um, push yourself forward to a place where you want to be. And
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's great. So if anyone watching this has any questions, please contact us at outreach@chai.ac.uk or study here at chai.ac.uk. But that's the end of our webinar. So thank you, Danny, for helping with this. But yeah,
Worries.